wise man once said, I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, cause we're all dudes. It's truly one of the greatest philosophical quotes of a generation. And with Good Burger 2 dropping recently, the greatness of Kenan and Kel's cinematic masterpiece is brought back into the spotlight. I'm Keefy with Wicked Binge, and we've got something good to serve you today. This is Good Burger 2 characters, Good Burger to Evil Burger. The first course of this video, naturally, is the most pure and noble characters. These are the good. Taking the gold medal of good is a however many way tie between the members of Ed's family. Despite his interesting mental state, Ed is apparently capable of raising a relatively happy, well-mannered family. This includes his wife, Edie, his pet dog, Attack, and, get ready for this one, his 7 children. Yes, really. He has 3 sons, Ed 2, No Mayo, and Onion, and 4 daughters named Pickles, Ketchup, Mustard, and Baby Bun Bun. Given that these are all innocent children plus a dog and a nice woman, their stance on this list needs little explanation. And Ed 2 gets some bonus points for helping save Good Burger in the end, effectively saving millions of fast food employees around the world from being laid off. The silver medal of Good Burger goes to the legend himself, Ed. He might be demoted one single spot from our original Good Burger ranking, but don't let that fool you. Ed is as pure of heart as he's always been, even 26 years later. Like we mentioned earlier, he's able to juggle having 7 children, a wife, and a ton of responsibilities. Despite being the owner of Good Burger, he never abuses his power, or comes anywhere near it, in fact. He's loyal, understanding, and a swell guy all around, and he has a way of drawing people in, shown by his ability to rally his Good Burger employees to help take down Mega Good Burger and save millions from losing their jobs. That said, if we had to critique him for anything, it would be his clumsiness. Ed, as genuinely sweet as he is, just doesn't have that much going on upstairs.
Hong Kong's not a city, it's the name of an ape.
Well, aside from vivid dreams of singing fast food, that absent-mindedness of his is usually an endearing trait, albeit one deserving of the Darwin medal, but one has to wonder just how he gets away with the countless instances of throwing food at customers, and especially his reckless driving habits. There's also him calling Ketchup the 3rd favorite child as an introduction, which is, kind of messed up, even though he 100% didn't mean anything by it. At the end of the day, Ed has a heart as warm as a nice, freshly grilled Good Burger, giving him a high spot on the list. The bronze medal of good goes to the first of several celebrity cameos we'll be mentioning. That's Food Dude. He's a television food reviewer portrayed by a German DJ and actor named Flulaborg.
Yummy! Hey, it's me, the Food Dude!
Not really sure where that led to him being a food critic, but you know what? He did a phenomenal job. Not only did he give Good Burger a glowing review, but he didn't change his tune even after being sprayed by Ed's secret sauce on TV. Heck, he was such a good sport, he even kept it in the final product. That's some impressive modesty for a TV star. Shh, do you hear that music? The next entry must be Roxanne! If you remember her from the original movie, this is probably a surprising place for her to be, but thankfully, she's found a better path in life than seducing teenagers for her corporate boss's whims. In fact, she and Ed are found family at this point, since Roxanne is working as his nanny and seems to have a good relationship with his kids. When she said, "I quit!" she must have meant her life of crime too, and we're suckers for a good redemption arc. Now it's time to get to the new employees at Good Burger, starting with Mr. Jensen, the new manager. Don't let the name fool you. He's practically a kid, albeit an impressively responsible one. While he does respect Ed's authority as the owner of Good Burger, he does his best to run the place smoothly while still treating the employees with respect.
Hey, I'm the manager. I'm supposed to tell you stuff.
His attempts to flirt with Mia, while adorable, are also pretty telling of his respect for women, so he gets a few bonus points for that, and a lust medal for just how strong that crush was. It more or less acted as motivation for him in the final act of the movie, giving him the courage to lead Cindy and Mindy to deceive Kat's employees. Speaking of which, you're not seeing double. Next up are Cindy and Mindy. Cindy, not to be confused with Mindy, and Mindy, not to be confused with Cindy, are twinsies.
No, I'm always just Cindy. I'm Mindy. We're twins.
These sisters don't finish each other's sentences because, frankly, the sentences are usually the same.
Cooking the Good Burger, and this hottie tamale walks in, and I was like, oh, and he orders.
They're nice overall and heroic in the movie's final act, using their impressive makeup artistry talents to help take Mega Good Burger down. Though their tendency to practice during work hours while there are customers to serve has to get them a few points docked, just a few though. Next is the oldest of Good Burger's current roster, Ruth. She doesn't get quite as much screen time as the original movie's geriatric employee, Otis, RIP, but Ruth still makes an impact.
I got it. Come on, slowpoke.
She's a caring person, shown by how she lets Cindy and Mindy practice their makeup on her, tired though she may be. Later on, she works with Ed to put on a show as a distraction so Dex and Mia can sneak into Mega Good Burger, which could not have been easy on her brittle body. Her heart has stopped 4 times in a week after all. What a trooper. Finally, next is the most prominent of the film's new employees, Mia, Dex's niece. Mia's not too fond of her uncle, and she has some pretty valid reasoning. When his latest invention falls flat in front of investors, not to mention his house, his sister realized that her money, like Dex's house, went up in flames. Mia has to work at Good Burger to help the family make ends meet, and her frustration is honestly understandable, but ultimately she does her best to help out and even help save fast food restaurants all over the planet in the end. And of course, at the very end of the good characters is our other main character, Dexter, or Dex as we've been calling him. Like in the original movie, Dexter still has his moments of selfishness. He convinced his sister to invest in his product ideas and ended up essentially making them broke. He also, albeit well-intentioned, hastily convinced Ed to franchise Good Burger out to Megacorp, which ultimately let them do whatever they pleased with it due to the contract. Literally saying that.
Okay.
But generally, Dexter does mean well, and he feels sincere remorse for the trouble he causes. This is shown by how hard he works to rebuild his burnt bridges with Mia, even going as far as to risk his life to save her from a potato-cutting conveyor belt. He's also the one who comes up with the plan to take down Cat Boswell and save Good Burger. And despite being desperate at that point, he is genuinely happy to see Ed, and they consistently get along throughout the movie. Dexter's still finding his place in the world, but he's found a better sense of morals than he had before, landing him just inside the good category. These next characters are a little more questionable. Be they neutral or morally ambiguous, these characters serve their time in the gray area. First in this area is Dexter's aforementioned sister and Mia's mother, Charlotte. We barely see any of her in the movie, as she's only mentioned in passing by Dex and Mia, and only seen at the very end. As for why she's in the gray area, it's not because of her grudge against Dexter. She had a right to be angry and ultimately forgave him. That said, she also basically threatened and extorted free food for life from him. And this wasn't just so they could eat, she took full advantage of the deal she forced him to take, evidenced by her statement that she wanted onion rings just because they were free, even though she heard they were terrible.
But I get to eat free for life, right?
That's enough to earn her the Greed and Gluttony Sinner medals, as well as a spot in the gray area for, well, not really doing much else in the movie. This next character does even less, but we just have to mention Mark Cuban. We get being upset about losing money on an investment in Dexter's unsuccessful invention, but come on, man, did you really have to brag about owning sports teams right after that? The guy's suffered enough. Rounding out the gray area are the Goons. These two first appear during Ed and the Good Burger gang's party at a skating rink, where they threaten Ed and ultimately try to force him to sign over Good Burger to their bosses. That said, they ultimately show themselves to be the most reformed of the movie's antagonists when Ed rewired the animatronics to go crazy worldwide. The Goons are the first ones to know when to just take the L and move on. And they seem to have found another way in life. In the final scene, they're enjoying Good Burgers in the restaurant and even complimenting Ed on them, which shows that they're on good terms.
Thanks, Goons. Yeah.
Now it's finally time to dive into the most unsavory characters in the movie. These are the bad to evil. We only have two characters in this category, and it might be surprising that the runner-up is the movie's main antagonist, Cat Boswell. If her name only being 2 letters away from it isn't enough indication,
Nope. I got nothing.
Cat Boswell is the younger sister of Kurt Boswell, the villain of the original Good Burger. Cat wants revenge for her brother being arrested for his crimes, which, while ridiculous, at least earns her the Wrath Sinner medal. She wants to crush the original Good Burger and overhaul the world of fast food with her new system. Not only fully aware that she's potentially putting millions of people out of work, but being proud of it. This is all part of her revenge scheme somehow, but the worst thing she did easily was blowing up the Burger Mobile. I'm a dude, and he's a dude, and she's a dude, but you're a menace, Cat. Anyway, call it controversial, we're going to give the gold medal of evil to her right-hand man, Cecil McNevin. Cecil, also known as Mr. Lawyer Guy, is Cat's second in command. He's the one who got the goons to intimidate Ed, or at least try to intimidate him, and the one who ultimately coerced Dexter into gaining Ed's trust for the idea of enfranchisement. But how can we call him more evil than Cat? Well, even though Cat is the mastermind of the whole plan, she at least had convictions, and possibly trauma from seeing her older brother locked up at such a young, formative age. Cecil knew what she was doing, was completely fine with it, and decided to add on some psychological manipulation and sadism to spice things up. If you think sadism is a strong word, think of it this way. Once Ed signed the contract, Cecil had already won, but he chose to wait until everyone was partying, having a great time, celebrating his own promise to give everyone raises, to tell him that the contract said he could do whatever he wanted, and that he was straight up lying.
Have a nice day.
Even if Cat was pulling the strings, Cecil was the one who seemed to be having the most fun watching them fall from grace, making him, in our opinion, the most morally sick character in the whole cast of Good Burger 2.